Turn your Bibles to Genesis 21 and 22. Genesis 21, 22. Just for a moment. Family legacy. Family legacy. God has given us a legacy. Family legacy. Proverbs 13 and 22 lets us know when a good man dies, he leaves an inheritance to his grandchildren. But when a sinner dies, his wealth is stored up for the godless, or just. What Proverbs is letting us know that it's good to leave that which we have stored for our children, our children's children, our children's children's children. For when a good man dies, he leaves an inheritance. Psalms 78 lets us know. It talks about the history of the Israelites, and it talks about the walk in which they've walked, and it lets us know God gave his laws to Israel and commanded our fathers to teach them to their children. And there's a real responsibility left to us to teach our children about God. That was verse 5. Verse 6 says that they, in turn, would teach their children too. So these laws pass down from generation to generation. And what they're saying is that if our children don't know God, it's our fault. If our children don't understand the walk of a Christian, a godly parent, it's our fault. The Bible tells us to train up a child, Proverbs 13, 22, in the way in which she should go. And when they're old, they won't leave it. They will return to it if they leave it. They will understand it. They'll know it. They'll go back to where they were taught their teaching, or come back to them. The path in which they were supposed to follow, they begin to follow again. It's a thing that he's letting us know that if we train up a child in the way that they should go, we're leaving them a godly legacy in order for them to follow. Now, one of the things I've come to understand is that through life, that if we're not careful, we'll shave off some of the law. That's what the Pharisees did. We'll shave off some of the guidelines to make it fit our conditions. Last week I was attending a birthday celebration for a friend of mine, and they had a young man there who was talking, and he was telling a story about a family that had a young son that had got kicked out of about every school in Indianapolis. All the public schools would not allow him to attend any longer because he was just so difficult to work with. The type of child that had no stick stay, a rebel. And he said that after being kicked out of every school in the city of Indianapolis, He was telling this story because the story was told to a group of individuals from Indianapolis. And it said that his parent had no choice but to take him and put him in a private school, and it was Catholic private school. And putting him in this Catholic private school, they thought that this is the last straw. We don't know what else we can do. We've done everything that we can think of to make sure that our child get educated and become a valuable citizen in the neighborhood and the city. The first semester rolled around, and to their surprise, they got a call from the school and said they wanted to talk to the parents. Here we go again. He's getting kicked out of another school. They get there and they find the principal invites him into his office, and he's happy, he's jubilant, he's excited, and they're wondering why is it that he must have done something real bad. They want to get him out. He said, I want to let you know that your son has completed the first semester and he has straight A's. So he's a remarkable student. I can't understand why they kicked him out of all the other schools, because he's doing so well here. They were in a mix. They were surprised to hear that he had straight A's. They were upset, Thomas, because he had not done that before. On the drive home, they're wondering, why is it that here it is now he's doing it? Now he's making straight A's. Something must have just snapped. And they get there and they sit to the table and they ask him, said, what is it about that school that's so different from all the other schools that you were kicked out of? He said, the very first day I went to that school, I looked up on the wall and I seen this child nailed to the cross, head dropped. I knew that wasn't going to happen to me. See, the thing I want you to understand is what he's saying is that what he saw as a mark of a child being punished, what we see is a child that gave his life that we may live. That's right. And what he saw was, I don't want to be done that way. What we see is, this happens to us every single day. The moral of the story is, his parents hadn't taught him who Jesus Christ is. So when he's seen the crucifixion, he's seen it as a martyr of which I have no desire to want to be done that way. When we see the crucifixion, we see it as it happens to us every day in all different kinds of ways. Jesus lets us know that if we die with him, we'll rise again with him. And he lets us know that if he lived, we live. He lets us know that if he can face tomorrow, we can face tomorrow. Our children's legacy should be that they understand and they know who Jesus Christ is. Psalms 22:6 says, teach a child to choose the right path. And when he's old, he'll remain on it. That's Proverbs 22:6. If we teach a child the right path, when he gets old, he'll remain on it. A family legacy is a lasting impact. A legacy is a lasting impact. Through our lives, we're impacting our children one way or another. throughout our lives, in our children's lives, their values are being tested day by day. Through our children's lives, I understand that through the legacy in which we're leaving, it's a lasting impact. It's a value that we put on it. It's a spiritual inheritance that is passed down from one generation to another. My experience and memory of early church is with my grandparents and my family being in church together. My experience and memory of church was not going or being sent to church, but being taken to church by family. It should have a spiritual impact on us. That's the legacy. It goes beyond material possessions. It goes beyond those things that causes us to have a value in cars, houses, rings, gold, jewelry, and teaches us to have faith in God. It teaches us to include worship as a value of what our children should have. It teaches us, legacy teaches us character. You ever heard in your family, I hear it in mine all the time, that I can tell that you're one of those samples because the samples have the same characteristics. I can tell that you're one of those Jacksons because the Jacksons have the same characteristics. If you've heard that, then what they're saying is your parent did a good job on you. Now, you have to make sure that good job is a godly job and not an ungodly job. So somebody may say, well, you're a piece of work. I want you to understand that we all are Christians. We're a piece of work. And Jesus should have an impact on us. Jesus had left a legacy, and Jesus' legacy is rooted into the teaching of his words. Jesus' legacy is an example of love and service. Jesus' legacy on us is an example of giving rather than looking forward to receiving. He even told us in his words that it's better to give than to receive. Jesus' legacy is a legacy of sacrifice and humility. Sacrifice and humility. So therefore we should have a legacy of sacrifice, humility, giving, and showing love. I'm so glad that Jesus didn't sit down when God asked for an offering for the human race. Yeah. I'm so glad that he didn't pass by the altar and watch this and lay nothing on it when God asked for an offering for the human race. Yeah. I'm so glad that he's not like us, put value in things rather than putting value in trusting and knowing God. He let us know that his Father, in everything that he prayed, he always referred back to his Father. Even when he taught his disciples to pray, he let them know our Father. See, the thing I want to understand is the relationship that Jesus showed us to have with God was a relationship that we should have with our Heavenly Father, spiritual Father, our Creator, on a daily basis, not just when we come to church. Yeah, I want you to understand that through the legacy, the family legacy, we should be taught, we've been taught on how to operate inside of the church. Here's what they're saying. If you sit and the church is praising, your children are being taught to sit while the church is praising. If you sit while the church is giving an offering, your children are being taught to sit while the church is giving an offering. If you look through your finances and get the smallest number bill in your possession, your children are taught to look in the smallest number of bill and give it unto God. Because you're making a spiritual impact on them. And it's not necessarily an impact that's a blessing, that word blessing. It's an impact of watch this, learning how to treat or manipulate God. He asks us to give our best. Yeah. And here's the key. He always gives us the best to give. Yeah. He asks us to give our best. And he always supplies us of all of our needs according to his riches and glory. Abraham was here. Now he's in a situation where now he's dealing with Abimelech. He's dealing with Abimelech, and Abimelech is one who is king there over the Philistines. This particular king was one that was addressing Abraham and letting him know that I know that God is with you. I know that God is blessing you. And I want you to understand that we are not going to have any problem at all, paraphrasing, with you. And so whatever it is, or wherever you want to dwell, you can dwell. You can have whatever land that you want to have. Abraham gave him oxen and sheep, and they went about their way. Apparently, the news didn't get to Abimelech's servants, family. Abraham dug a well. And when Abraham dug the well, Abimelech's family, servants, took the well aggressively. See, watch this. When God blesses you, don't think for one moment that there's not someone there that's trying to take what God has blessed you with. And when Abraham found out, and Abimelech found out, and they had this conversation again, Abraham began to let him know that violently your servants have taken the well from us. Abimelech lets him know that I had nothing to do with it. It wasn't anything that I was aware of until now. What we then to let him know is, watch this, this property is yours. And so Abraham again gives him sheep. And they make a transfer of a blessing. Then Abraham had 7 ewe lambs set apart. Abimelech asked the question is, what are these ewe lambs for? He said, these ewe lamb is because I'm giving you these, because these are a guarantee of the contract of which we have one with the other. I'm going to agree that my men are not going to do anything, or we're not going to do anything, and God's not going to attack, or God's not going to do anything to you. My people are not going to do anything to you, and your people are not going to do anything to us. They agreed, and he took the ewe lambs. See, the thing I want to understand is that what Bathsheba is a word that really has twofold meanings. The bear meaning well, and the Sheba meaning oath or 7. And so what Abraham did was he named the place Beersheba as a reminder of what oath they had taken there at that place. The well in which he had dug was his. The land in which he had dug the well on was Abimelech that was given to him. And so now they have an agreement that this land belongs to him. And now the place also have a name. That the name is Bathsheba, which lets us know that it's an agreement made on a well that's given. And we've taken an oath here. That's a covenant that Abraham made that with the king of the Philistines. And as he made this covenant with the king of the Philistines, he dug this well in that place. And in digging his well in that place, I want you to understand something. He named it because he wanted his children, and after his children and his children's children, to understand what had happened in that place. See, the reason why so many of us, our children, don't understand where we come from, because we've stopped telling the story. So many of us, watch this, I truly don't understand the struggle in which we've come through because we stopped telling the story. And what Abraham did was he named the place. And when he named the place, I understand that particular place was a place where, I understand, watch this, Isaac was also at that well. Jacob also was at that well. Y'all hear what I'm saying? If you remember last week, Haggai was at that place. This particular place was a place where all of Abraham's family, the one that was sojourning into the history of Abraham, left a mark on that place. Abraham made a covenant with Abimelech, and he named the place, dug a well, and after digging a well, I want to understand his son Isaac also worshiped God and lived and drank water from that place. His son Isaac also had issues with the native, the commoners of that place. When his son had issues Isaac had issues with the commoners of that place. I would understand, rather than to leave the place like his father did, what Isaac did was he stayed in the place. He just dug a new well. See, one thing I want to understand is when we put value on Christ, when we put value on the church, when we put value on worship, our children understand, watch this, there may be difficulty, but I'm going to stay with God. I may go through some stuff, but I ain't going to leave God. I may have rough times, but I'm going to stay with the church. I may have difficult situations, but I'm going to stay with the church. And see, they understand, I'm not going to leave the area. I'm just going to dig a new well. See, I understand the family legacy is something that's taught from generation to generation. And you read the Bible, and it talks about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It talks about the God of Abraham. What that's saying is Abraham acknowledged who God is, and he taught his son Isaac. Isaac also acknowledged that God is, and he taught his son, y'all hear what I'm saying, Jacob, who acknowledged who God is. And I want to understand, we too must teach our children who God is. We too must teach our children that God has standards. We too must teach our children that God has rules and regulations. We too must teach our children that God has made us male and we too must teach our children that it's wrong to live together outside of the covenant of marriage. We too must teach our children that it's wrong to take from other people. We too must teach our children that it's wrong to covenant. We too must teach our children to let them know that it's wrong to kill. We too must teach our children that we must love God with all of our mind, soul, our heart. We too must teach our children that no matter what, I'm staying with God. And so, watch this. Isaac also was there at Bathsheba. Isaac also drank from the well at Bathsheba. Isaac had a son. His son name was Jacob. Jacob was one who had gone through a lie to his father Isaac. He told his father Isaac that he was his brother Esau. He told his father Isaac that he was the one that had fixed the venison and bring it to him. And he brought it to him, but he wasn't his brother Esau. He lied to his father, and his father blessed him. Esau had desire to take his life. He left his father's house, going to his uncle's house, Laman. On his way to his uncle's house, he stopped there at Bathsheba. Y'all are hearing what I'm saying? The same Bathsheba that Abraham had bought with the ewe lambs, the same Bathsheba that they had tried to take away from, the same well that they had tried to take away from Abraham. Now, here it is. His grandson is now at the same place, Bathsheba. Bathsheba is a place where there's a well and there's a covenant, an oath that's been taken. Bathsheba is a place where it shows up in the Bible time after time after time. And the individuals who arrive there are being challenged, and being challenged. And here it is. When he arrived there, when Jacob arrived there, he fell asleep. And when he fell asleep, what he seen was there was a ladder that reached from, watch this, from earth unto glory, a highway to heaven. He had a dream there. You know where that dream was at? There at Bathsheba. Yeah. See, I want to understand. And the family legacy was something that Abraham had done before Isaac. And Isaac obviously had told, y'all hear what I'm saying, his son, also Jacob, about it. When Jacob arrived at the place, what he seen was, he had a dream. And in that dream, he seen the angels going from earth unto glory. And he woke up the next morning, and what he did was, he said, if you bless me in this place. See, the thing with understand is, what his father had taught him how to do was to pray. See, the thing with understand is, what we need to teach our children is how to pray for themselves. We need to teach our children how to pray, not just, now thou lay me down to sleep. That's a good Head Start prayer. But we need to teach our children that there is a God, and it's not me. There is one that provides all your needs, and I'm just an instrument that's being used to go out, catalyst to go out and labor, and God is the one that blesses. He's the one that gives me the strength to be able to go out and labor and to bless. Everything that we have comes from God.
What an incredible message from our man of God here at Mount Moriah Missionary Baptist Church. Now's the time where we can all participate by giving. You can use our PayPal link on our website, www.3mbc.org, or www.facebook.com/MMMBC. We look forward to seeing you here on the Mount. God bless.